welcome back to the Bleach Wiki podcast. I don't know how we come down from that. So we're back for chapter 632, Friend 2, because just one isn't enough. I'm Zill.
Val.
Son.
Shift
The guy who likes EVs.
And I am Jose Cuervo. I mean Shippy.
It always takes us so goddamn long to introduce ourselves. It's like playing a game of chicken. Like, who's gonna introduce himself first? Oh god.
Yep.
But anyway, anyway, we're back for more about Baz and Jugo's past as best of friends.
When you were the best of friends. Sorry.
So, anyway, I guess on to the first part, the training that was alluded to in the last chapter. So basically, Baz got better because he's so cool, and Hashwell sucks.
The end.
And the end. But apparently,
the most important part of this chapter is how big is Juju Man's horse's dick. That's what I want.
God damn it, son! Wait till the end for that.
I'm only joking.
God.
Sorry.
Anyway,
Anyway,
we got some
Well, Pesh did take it out of there.
Yeah, we got some Quincy lore this time. Apparently, the difference between translation on exactly that time, but apparently every now and then Quincy is born who sucks like Hashwell does, and they get killed while young because they want. I guess they want to keep the bloodline pure. I don't fucking know, but it's implied that Hashwell is that is that guy, and Baz like, does he know? Probably not. And yeah, also Hashwell uses a real sword because he's cool.
Because I'm a real boy.
So I don't know. What do you guys think about this whole this training and this lore going on here?
Friend, I'm not your fucking friend.
Well, it's interesting, I guess. But hey, only one incomplete Quincy is born every once in a blue moon. I mean, that's pretty good for them.
Yeah, I mean, like the last like certified Quincy lore we got was the whole like Tale of the Sealed King. So it's been a while.
But I mean, if only one shitty Quincy is born every like decade or so, yeah. I mean, that's a lot better than a lot of birth defects.
Yeah, I like how Manga Panda phrased it. They're like, one Quincy is born every 10 years.
I don't think that's how it works.
I don't like. How do you even like maintain a population like that? Jesus Christ! How do you even have kids like that?
Oh yeah, that's like in Voyager, isn't that?
And they said there hasn't been a Quincy born in about 100 years.
Yeah.
Isn't kids raised in Voyager? Aren't they only able to breed for like a certain amount of time, and they can only have one child per life, and they only live 9 years? Yeah.
I don't fucking know.
I don't even know.
I don't fucking know. I'm American. I don't know anything.
American.
I'm American. All I know is the Confederacy lost.
But yeah, according to Manga Panda, there hasn't been a Quincy born in about 100 years. Not one of these incomplete Quincy's. There just hasn't been a Quincy born in about 100 years.
Yeah. Baz and Jugo are just faking it, honestly, with their goddamn jizzbos.
Jizz?
Of course, they're making their bows out of jizz.
Yeah, that's why it's white. That's why all this stuff is white. Honestly, Reishi jizz. Yeah, spirit particles. Oh yeah, sure, Kubo. You just keep saying that.
So are spirit ribbons like solidified versions of it?
Anyway.
Anyway, more.
Now we've got a giant army of stuff.
Yeah. So, last week in chapter, everyone was surprised to see Zeodritz show up because he was mentioned for one panel like 3 years ago and then didn't show up. This chapter we got the other two people that showed up for that one chapter and then were kind of forgotten. Hubert and Algora, although they weren't named, but you can tell it's them because they look the exact same. So they ride into town. They're all like, fucking, the Servator, we're gonna make them, and no pussies allowed. And Yeah. Also, Hubert has a cape because he's so cool. He's so pimpin'.
He also has glorious eyelashes.
Dude, his eyelashes are like...
That eyelash game too strong.
Too strong.
He also looks shockingly like Bambietta. So.
Yeah, dude, he's gotta be Bambieta's father. I mean, honestly, look at that face. Look at that smirk, no less.
Maybe it was her love monkey.
Yeah, maybe they were brothers.
Ooh, brothers.
But anyway, this I gotta voice something here. I don't know when this was. Apparently, I don't know, like 1,000 years ago or something.
Yes.
They said this Stern Ritter will be created by for the purpose of invading the Soul Society.
Yes.
I'm guessing these people are all obviously humans of some sort.
Yes.
Well, wait. Well, if they're the question is, are they Quincy's? Or are all these people Quincy's?
I guess
Because
so.
if they were normal humans, I'd question how they're not questioning what the fuck is the Soul Society.
Yeah, no, here's the weird thing, actually, that I noticed. So, everyone's like, oh, the Soul Society, why do they want to invade that? They know about the afterlife. But when Bach shows up later and pins everyone to the ground with his Reiatsu, Baz's like, oh, so this is Reiatsu. So he doesn't know about Reiatsu, but he knows about the afterlife. So I'm not sure why they know about something that they don't even know when they die, versus something that's like a part of every person.
But he still knows what race he is, so it's kind of weird. I think mainly what he meant is because Quincy's don't tend to have like Reiatsu themselves; they tend to manipulate things around them. So
yeah.
Obviously that was him.
Or it's just not that strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess so. That makes sense. Anyway, so Baz and Jugo are like, we want to join. Well, Baz is like, we want to join. Jugo's like, dude, please don't drag me into this. Poor guy. And they mentioned that Baz was actually the son of the previous lord. I guess that makes him nobility. I don't fucking know. But
well, that would kind of explain the ruins of the palace or ruins of the castle that they were.
Yeah, that
they grabbed the coins from. Yeah, like everyone said palace or castle that they scrounged money from.
Yeah, but Hubert's like fuck. Like Hubert's like fuck you, you're weak, and Baz's like you want to fucking go, mate, and Hubert's like yeah, and then they try, and
cock blocked.
Yeah, cock blocked by Bach, cock blocked.
And his horse.
Yeah,
his big ass horse.
His big, yeah, dude. His horse is apparently on the level of Aizen's chair, because it was standing up perfectly fine while he was just pinning people to the ground with his spiritual power.
That should be the next Bleach Wiki Arena thing. Which one
horse
is strong?
Horse versus chair.
Box horse or Aizen's chair?
Yes,
we should do that. Someone write this down.
I will remember forever. That's going to be.
Which do you think is stronger, Box horse or Aizen's chair? Who would win? No, who would win in a fight to the death?
Yeah, who will be the next Soul King? Who will become the Captain Commander of the Gotai 13 after Shunsui dies?
Of course.
I'm actually convinced that Juju Man's horse is what Mayuri wants to study next. He wants that horse.
Yeah, I want your horse and your body. But mostly your horse.
Look at my horse. My horse is amazing.
It's amazing. Give it a lick. It tastes like raisins.
Hello, ladies. Look at your man. Now back to me. Now back at your man. Now back to me. I'm on a horse.
But a few things I want to know about this. First of all, I like that. I kind of like this whole like Quincy's on horseback thing, because we don't really see methods of transportation besides Hirankiyaku, Shunpo, and Sunito in the series, and so I guess this is before either these guys are lazy fucks, or they hadn't really like refined Hirankiyaku back then. So it's kind of I kind of like that everyone has a horse, and that
or they were going for more of an elegance, like, you know. Which looks more intimidating, appearing out of nowhere or walking in on a big ass horse?
Well, if you got a big enough weapon, I don't think like your method of transformation matters.
Up to this point, I just thought they used their Zanpakuto as witches' brooms and just flied around on them.
Whee!
Totally.
Come on, we all know what flash step is. It's when you have a fart.
I swear to God, if Yamamoto shows up like riding on his Zambak to like a skateboard, or like or a flying surfboard like Silver Surfer Sire, just
like a hoverboard from.
That'd be the best fan art, dude. That'd be the best fan art ever.
No, because this is back when he was all like badass, so he's just like an old skater dude, just flying around.
Yeah, that's the bad
like
thing about Ichigo.
showing
He
up
brought in a Karen Yamamoto.
Oh please, that'd be
Yeah,
so
the question is, will we ever see Yamamoto as a kid? As an outright kid.
Back when he was playing with matches, you know, and setting fire to his house over and over.
I've just assumed that he's always been an old man. Like he was born an old man.
Ow.
Born and he was already 100 years old or something.
So his mother just kind of pushed him out of the womb as an old, fully grown man? Ooh.
That's what I always said. I always said I wouldn't have kids. If I wanted kids, I would want kids to be 18 months old whenever they're born or whatever, you know, so they're just not, you know, I can't in my fucking head. And so,
but, anyway.
Sorry, I love babies, I just can't, I hate holding them.
It's understandable. Everyone does. Everyone either loves or hates babies. It's part of life. But
well,
so Baz is like, it's all like he gives him like the taunting finger, which I guess he pioneered that 1,000 years ago. Because I don't think in like the War of the Roses they're like come at me, bro, but Baz is so cool. And
is that what they said in the Wars of the Roses?
Come bro, with the 2 fingers,
you know,
all
like oh my God, the spores named after roses. We need to man this shit up. Come at me.
Yeah, Bruce Lee style. They're like, come at me.
Come at me, bro. And like mice flapping a couple of minutes later, like no.
Yeah. But yeah, Bog is on a really big horse, like twice as he's like it's like 12 feet tall. I question how the hell he gets on that thing. Honestly, it's taller than him. And it's literally its body is taller than him, I think. But anyway, he shows up. He's all like, "Hi, I'm looking for a right-hand man." And Baz is all like, "Oh, I'll be your right-hand man, Box Senpai. Please choose me." And then he doesn't. He chooses other half.
I don't think he actually says anything. I think he says he wants to say it.
Here's something I actually like with what Manga Stream did over Manga Panda. He's literally making everyone kiss the ground he walks on. That is such a better way of putting it.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it's probably I'm not sure if it's that might have been taking a little liberty, but that's one I can accept.
Yeah, and so
he's making everyone kiss the ground he walks on with it.
Well, yeah, there's sometimes when I'm paying takes liberties that I can roll with. Like back when Kensei was challenging Mask, it's like I ain't gonna fuck around, Bonkai. That was like, oh, that's epic. But anyway.
Well, yeah, obviously there are certainly some liberties that Manga Stream takes that I can accept, like this.
Yeah. So shockingly, Hashwell is actually just standing up just fine in front of Bach, even though everyone else is being forced to kneel. And he's pretty shocked too.
Well, Hubert seems to be fine.
Well, yeah, but like, I mean, like almost everyone else, all the peasants.
I mean, Hubert's kneeling, but that's clearly intentional.
Yeah, but like, I guess that I put on Hashwell's page. That's probably indicative of his actual spiritual power, because because even Baz, the prodigy, is like, I can't move.
Baz is really young now.
Or it's something about how they're part of the same, or apparently he's his other half, or something like that.
And I actually read a theory about that on my blog that basically the Quincy that Baz mentioned that gets born every so often that sucks is actually Bach's other half.
I'm so sorry.
Oh dear, what did I say? Son, are you okay?
Carry on.
Okay.
I was just looking through questions for answers.
Oh, okay, so you gotta be on a good one.
Okay, so
anyway,
it wasn't something tilted. Okay.
So the theory on my blog was that the Quincy that's born every fusion that's incomplete is actually the same Quincy every time, and it's always Bach's other half. Because Bach is really powerful and he's really weak, so it's a yin yang thingamajigger. And so the reason they kill those incomplete Quincy is to prevent Bach from finding him and doing something. Probably whatever's gonna happen with Hashwell is gonna help boost Bach's power or something, or help him facilitate his takeover. But so I think that has some credibility to it. It would explain. That might help explain why Hashwell is loyal to him, beyond the possibility that he's loyal to him because he killed his uncle. But if Bach allowed him, gave him Quincy powers, which he was lacking, and which made him feel bad about himself, then he'd be like, "Oh, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. So I'll just go kill people in your name. Bye." But so yeah, what do you guys think about this whole other half thing going on right here?
Yowie.
Well, I mean, it would explain the this nightly power swap.
Yowie.
Yes.
God damn it, son.
Sorry.
Yeah. Wait. Yahweh. There must be a connection.
Yep. Yep.
Kubo supplies from the start. Master
Absolutely.
Sal, what do you think?
No.
about that one?
The biblical scholars planned this from the start. When they first conceived the Romanization of Yahweh, it was meant to be Yahweh.
It was meant for Bleach.
Yeah, they were trying to basically say, we're not ready for sodomy right now, but we will in the future.
But the Jews will all be gay in the future. So they'll
can get married. We're all
so
gay,
so they'll worship Yahweh.
Yeah.
Of course. Absolutely.
Yeah, but no.
Sorry.
Unfortunately, because he's a scrub.
Scrub.
Filthy scrub.
You're not Morph, you're not. We love you.
But
Sal, you've been really quiet. Are you okay? Did we kill you earlier?
Anyway,
Sal, would you like to give your thoughts on all this entire chapter, I guess?
Well, the first part of the chapter kind of like started out it kind of aggravated me because it started out like freaking anime did, where it's like doing this like pseudo recap. I don't need to know what happened before. I already know that from reading last time. Like, you don't need to catch me up on that. Yeah, we're past that point, so like continue forward. So it does that, and then it goes on to this thing about how that Hashwolf is pretty much freaking nobody Quincy, or an incomplete Quincy, because he doesn't seem to have any skill at Quincy techniques whatsoever. And then the whole situation with them like challenging them and stuff like that. What it all comes down to is that I was kind of like left really, what's the word? Disappointed and just underwhelmed in where this is going. I thought it would have been a lot ahead of what it is. This staying on the whole Basby, is not where I saw this flashback going. It's just really just underwhelming. Like, I'm just like, I don't know. But as far as what's going on with Hashwall, I mean, you can either look at it two ways. Either he's so powerful that, he doesn't succumb to Bach, which doesn't seem likely, or
he's gonna succumb to Yahweh.
Or the opposite being that this concept of his other being makes sense with the epithet obviously being somewhat of akin to balance, and that while Bach is essentially, like I've always said, is essentially a parasite, and his powers are pretty much based on hiding behind the fact that he's a parasite. He's giving to others, supposedly, but the downside, the drawback is a detriment to them, but only everything he does basically seeks to, empower himself. And Hashwolf seems to be somewhat the opposite in that he doesn't give. I did extensive looking up here on different abilities, trying to figure out exactly what he's possibly doing, and if it is something akin to balance, then that's like a mixture of like either power regulation or power negation, which means that the reason why he wasn't on his daggone hands and knees is because box powers don't affect him.
That makes sense.
Generates a field or something like that around himself that makes it impossible for, but then at the same drawback, that also makes it almost impossible for him to use Quincy abilities as well.
Oh.
So he's like pretty much negating everything around his person, and that is why when he went to go execute Kangdu tried to use the iron to make it so he was invulnerable to his attacks or whatever, and that his iron skin kind of just dissipated, because it kind of works that way. So it kind of very interesting. I also think it's interesting. I'm not entirely sure that. I'm trying to remember back when Hashwolf came up to Shunsui and them.
Yeah.
And the thing, and he couldn't. Nanao had the what was it?
Barrier.
The barrier that she had made. I can't quite remember from that chapter whether or not he was trying to get past the barrier.
He was absorbing reishi, yeah. So so by now he can manipulate reishi.
I'm not entirely sure that actually means he can manipulate it. Absorption is just another daggone form of negation. So the question I would actually pose is whether or not he requires to actually touch something, or does he have to just be really close to it?
And actually, in that case, I guess we shouldn't be. It's questionable whether or not his sword is actually a spirit weapon, because we see him just using a regular one in this flashback, and if he still can't manipulate reishi, then he's probably using a regular one now. So.
Well, we haven't seen him do pretty much anything that Quincy do. I don't think.
Does whatever a Quincy man does.
I mean,
Yeah, no, you're right. Actually, someone brought this up on my blog too. They're like, it was the Mr. LMM guy, the guy who wrote the write up on Bach and his connection to real life cult leaders and stuff. He was part of his theory was that like we'd never actually seen him do any Quincy things till now. Like we've seen him like attack with his sword. We've seen him absorb ratio vests, but we haven't really seen him do like pretty much a lot of the Terminator may not have he's supposed to use a lot of Quincy techniques, but they at least use Quincy ability like Harankiyaku and spirit weapons and stuff like bows, but not Hashwell. So and I never considered that until now. Like it's been so subtle that we've never actually really noticed it. Like no one ever brought up like, oh, by the way, Hashwell's never use anything. That's kind of weird, but so that is something to think about, I suppose.
Yeah, and it seems like he's the exact opposite of that. And the whole concept was, an old one between him and Basby when they initially started out. This is what we're going to do, but Hashwolf kind of went along with him. It wasn't really his plan to daggone get at Bach, and then you come up to this situation, Bach is basically giving him authority, power, so forth and so on.
And bitches.
And he's getting nothing from like running around with daggone Basby, so he's pretty much got a good deal going.
I mean, hell, if that one chapter from the beginning of the arc is to believe, he even gets bitches from this. I mean, and he ain't getting no puss from Baz,
Yeah, well. Baz is like, I don't know, whatever whatever supposed friendship that they had, whatever is long since been eradicated, because even outside of him associating with Baz and stuff like that, it's quite clear where his allegiances lie, from the little conversation he had with Yuryu, from the issue he has with Yuryu being left to his own devices without any supervision, to him being overly concerned about daggone destroying a fucking building. Like, so it's kind of obvious where his, if he did go into that whole situation, agreeing with Baz's, plan and everything like that, they waited like 1,000 years to daggone make that happen. That's way longer than Geen tried to daggone wait to freaking kill Aizen. So I'm saying, like, if you wasn't going to do that first century, it was never going to happen. I mean, he was at a point where he was pretty much sealed away and kind of vulnerable for a long time because he didn't have no heartbeat, he didn't have no power, so you could have just killed him then.
Yesterday you said tomorrow, so just do it.
Yesterday he was playing awful.
But obviously, Hashwolf is somewhat like
So was that just Shia LaBeouf there?
I did. It was.
Fucking.
He's somewhat like a.
Yesterday you said tomorrow, so just do it.
Just do it.
Connection or whatever to Hashwolf.
Yeah, I'd say that's reasonable. I mean, to be honest, I'm guessing that next chapter, or by the latest 2 chapters from now, we're going to cut to the Gotai. Because apparently Bach's reasoning for attacking Soul Society is they don't want the Gotai 13 or whatever, or
no, we know he wants Lebensraum.
In formal as it was back then, the Gotai 13 to get powerful enough to attack them, which I guess makes sense because back then the Gotai 13 wasn't like a maintainer of order; they were just like a ruthless band of killers. And
I thought they were like 2,000 years ago.
No, 1,000 years ago when Bach was fighting them, that's what he said during his little spiel to Yamamoto. And I guess if back then they didn't have like the, maintain the balance priorities, and they were just like, do what we want.
Well, wait a minute. Like, for instance, I'm not entirely sure that Bach's is, like I said before, I don't think Bach's assertion is entirely correct because, number one, a band of killers doesn't get together to daggone protect anybody. That doesn't even make any sense. That's like ISIS getting together and they're going to fight crime. Like, it's not
wait, Sal. So let's assume that maybe back then they didn't have like the protect the world, the balance at all costs mentality, and that they were just like kind of doing their own thing. And let's say that back then they still cared about wiping out threats before they come too big, like with the Quincy. So if like this proto Wandenreich sort of group became too powerful, then they probably would attack them.
Well, in the instance that the Quincy are running around in the human world and doing this stuff, what they do there is of no concern to Soul Society. That's not really their thing. The whole thing about the Gupta 13 is everything that they were doing even back then was trying to stabilize Soul Society. Now, whether there were codified groups or whatever, or just small contingents of people, or maybe the whole system was a little bit different than what it currently is, and they were having, sending Shinigami to...
It's probably just the 13 captains, honestly. That's what I'm guessing.
Yeah, well, the whole thing is like, if they had some type of system in place in order to facilitate some level of balance. At some point in there, it must have been like, okay, well, this isn't enough, because apparently there was a significant number, because Soul Society is essentially like the human world in a lot of ways. While people are waiting to move on to whatever and stuff like that, there's still a lot of gangs and violence and so forth and so on, and pretty much the same kind of setup that we have in the human world. So if it seems to be that even if you look back into the past between Captain Unohana, when she was captain of the 11th Division, a lot of her work seemed to I mean, obviously it was mainly for her personal choice of fighting and everything like that, but also seemed to be going after people who were inherently doing wrong. So apparently there was a lot of cleanup going on as far as taking out probably a whole amount of a whole bunch of daggone people who were basically against. And this is kind of that's not like the first time we've seen that. We've seen that in flashbacks in the anime fillers. We've seen that, before. So the insinuation is that Soul Society was not organized as much as it currently is in its past, and that there was a whole lot of things to clean up, and that's probably essentially the reason why Yamamoto decided to get the baddest mofos in the daggone land together and say, look, we need to clean this shit up because they're fucking up for everybody. So
I guess. But like, I'm not trying to justify Bach here. He's still an asshole. But
yeah, basically what I'm saying is he has no real justification for why he's doing what he's doing, because it's like, okay, you're doing whatever, but what the hell does that have to do with the afterlife? Like, my ambitions are so great, even the afterlife is going to take notice eventually and do something about it. Like, even as messed up as, the conquest of Alexander the Great and Napoleon and Hitler and everybody was. Yeah, I don't think, Satan or the Archangel Michael came down and said, "Oh, we got to take care of this shit because this motherfucker's getting out of hand."
Yeah, even Satan was like, "Damn, son."
Yeah,
I don't have a form for that.
Yeah, like it just seems kind of another. I mean, he's obviously a megalomaniac.
Well, Satan's busy doing the gay orgies.
Oh yeah, of course.
He's a megalomaniac. He's insane. He's a parasite. All this really has to do with daggone box power. He doesn't care anything about the Quincy's or whatever and stuff like that. There's no rhyme or reason behind this conquest. It's not like, oh, I have to protect my people, because all told, it doesn't seem like everybody in this scenario is Quincy's, and if they are, they don't seem to be combative. Because Basby's a Quincy. Apparently, Hashwolf is maybe sort of, and the people that they're around, I don't know. The whole thing seemed kind of odd, because when the guy showed up and made the announcement, everybody was like, what? Attack Soul Society? But then at the same time, he's like, he made it sound like, oh, you're joining us, Quincy. So he made it seem as though that everybody else were humans and Quincy were just these elite people that were following around with Bach. So apparently not everybody was in with Bach, such as Basby and whoever else, but the majority of Quincy's that did exist were with Bach, and everybody else were humans, and and humans and Quincy's kind of coexisted. Regular humans and Quincy's kind of coexisted with each other, with one knowing about the other.
Yeah, way back in the day.
Way back in the day, so which kind of actually works, because it did say that Quincy's, were kind of interconnected with regular human society like that. So, it seems like there's no codified like, oh, we're all Quincy's, and it's more like, oh, see if you have the propensity to be skilled, and then you can join in. But then again, there's no saying that he couldn't just make them into Quincy's. So I don't know.
Yeah, like I could do with Ebern.
Somehow.
Yeah. But that's about it for this chapter. But there's something I want to make note of. So at the end of the last chapter, we got a close up on Bach's face, and it showed that he looked different because it was 1,000 years ago, and he had a much lesser mustache and no mutton chops. It was all horrific. But
porn star look.
Yeah, something more interesting that I didn't notice until I looked at the Raw was that even back then he had the Almighty active, and I didn't notice this. Because Manga Panda's version was just shit quality, but Manga Stream drew lines over the extra pupil for some reason, so you couldn't see it. But this chapter provides a better look, so you can tell that he has multiple pupils in each eye, which means that the Almighty is active, because they didn't have contact lenses back then. So I think that if this might be Kubo's chance to show us how to overcome it somehow, because if Yamamoto defeated him, that means either he overcame it or the ability wasn't like properly active or something, or Bach can use it right. Because you know you got to get around that somehow. It's not like, oh, the jail. It's I can see the future and I can see what you're gonna do. So, what do you guys think about that?
I don't know.
Oh, right.
A clear throat, thank you.
Anyway,
I was sneezing
right.
too.
Oh yeah, something I gotta say that was kind of missing this chapter that I was kind of hoping for, but we didn't really get the same thing with last chapter with the split between present and past. I was kind of hoping for more of that.
Yeah. I think Kubo's clear for now, because if he's gonna go to I think this was outlined pretty well in that chapter's blog comment section, where it was basically drawing a parallel between then and now Basby's relationship, because back then they were, good friends, and these days they're like, and that's just gone. But this chapter was focusing more on
what page is this eye thing? Because I don't see it.
The last page, page 17. When it has the close up on his face. Here, I'll link you to the raw so you can see it better. Because like I said, Mama Shame drew lines over the extra pupil for some reason. I don't know why, but anyway, this chapter wasn't about Baz and Jugo so much as it was about Jugo being weird, and there's not much of a parallel to be had in the curve. And on top of that, it was gonna be cutting to
yeah, he's loading up the chapter. It's getting robot.
You can definitely see the second people in the raw.
Can you link it, show, please?
I just did.
Okay, but if you're gonna cut to the previous war, between the original Gotai 13 and Bach and his forces, then if it keeps cutting back and forth between that and Basby and Hashwell, Basby and Hashwell is going to feel really underwhelming, because it's like two Quincy's versus compared to the OG Shinigami, the strongest ever, versus Bach at his prime, and I feel like just cutting away from it now and then coming back to it after the flashback is over makes more sense. So.
I mean, either Baz believes in what he's going to do, or he ends up dead. Like, I don't know that.
He's probably going to be dead, honestly.
I don't know. I feel like some other people that are not freaking Quincy's with grudge should have a chance to kill Hashwell.
You mean like Shunsui, who's been teased about having a fight with him from the beginning of the second half?
Yeah, I think that probably will work.
Well, there you go.
But I don't know. Maybe, I mean, they're pretty much setting it up that Hashwell. I mean, this is so unoriginal at the same time, because isn't this like the whole concept behind the last book of Harry Potter? Like, you gotta destroy all the Horcruxes before you can kill Voldemort, and it's essentially like the same thing. You gotta kill Hashwolf before you can kill Yahweh. Bach. Like, come on.
Before you can kill Yahweh.
Before you can kill Bach, you gotta kill Hashwolf, because he's his Horcrux.
Totally.
So hit him with a Vajra Kedavra, and
Yeah, just get it over with. Honestly, Ashwell. Burnerfinger 1 is obviously Avada Kedavra.
Hey, if it'll work, it'll work.
It'll work.
But I mean, it's kind of telling that
both are actually Expecto Patronum. There, I said it.
I mean, it'll actually work if think about it, because Basby made the point that if you die, then his powers is going with you. So.
Well, if you die at night, but
if you die at night. But you know what's actually telling about that whole thing is that Bach apparently has an issue, and besides the Hashwolf thing, I think we've seen it throughout this, out this introduction. He apparently has an issue with regulating his own power.
Yep, definitely.
The whole I can't use the Almighty until this point because otherwise, or I have to gather, about a gathering power, and the whole thing is like he has a serious regulation problem, from what we can tell. So if he loses the very thing that facilitates that regulation, which would seem to be Hashwolf, then he'd be screwed. He'd be less calm and more crazy, kind of like when Aizen got daggone freaking sealed away. He's like, I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy.
Even before that, when Ichigo facepalmed him across the city.
Yeah.
I mean, goddamn.
Which, I mean, when you see stuff like that, it gets epic. I love to see not just Ichigo, but any daggone freaking good guy come out there and be like, oh, you thought you were doing that? No, that was me. I'm the one that leveled that mountain, not you.
Oh, that was an epic Ichigo scene.
That was kind of epic. I was just like, yo, how far have you fallen, oh great and powerful and all-knowing Aizen, that, you look more like the Wizard of Oz than you do, the guy that you've been portraying yourself to be all this daggone time. You couldn't tell that wasn't your power doing that, but your opponent.
And of course,
Aizen is the Wizard of Oz, and Ichigo is the man behind the curtain.
Well, no, the insinuation is Aizen is the Wizard of Oz, who was the man behind the curtain.
And Sal, let's not forget the immortal line. Is that all you got?
Yeah, pretty much. Like,
oh man.
In this particular situation, Bach doesn't seem like, I don't know. So far he has not demonstrated that he's an actual serious combatant. He can block for sure, but it comes to an actual daggone fight, like it's kind of like he doesn't really seem to do much. He relies on his varying array of abilities to cheat, do the Contra cheat code and automatically win.
Contra cheat code. Up, down, left, right.
Pretty much, and
yeah,
his power. I mean, if in a destabilized state, then he's truly daggone screwed. But the thing is, you can't leave him in the situation that he's in. So then, of course, yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see which way this wheel turns.
Yeah, but
hopefully we get to more important flashbacks.
Like Yama, my man Yama.
Exactly.
So is this the end of the podcast, or
I think so. I think we covered everything. I mean, yeah.
Okay. No worries. Well.
So we'll see you guys next time, either on the next. Oh, and of course on the answers what to do. Oh God.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do that next.
Oh God in heaven. Oh God, future.
Night.
Alright, bye.
We are not calling ourselves the super best friends forever. It's stupid.
I am a brony breaking divides.
I like ponies and have a beard.
Wow. He is the one.
Hey, she's only interested in you because she thinks you're the chosen one.
But I am the chosen one. The Force is strong with you.